The bandicoot exists in the margins of attention, moving quietly through leaf litter and shadowed undergrowth while much larger stories unfold above. Native primarily to Australia and nearby islands, this small marsupial carries a history far older than the continent's modern landscapes. Long before cities, fences, and roads divided the land, bandicoots were already shaping soil, dispersing seeds, and maintaining balance within ecosystems that evolved in isolation from the rest of the world. The evolutionary roots of the bandicoot reach deep into the early history of marsupials. When Australia separated from other landmasses, its mammals followed a unique evolutionary path. Placental mammals never came to dominate, leaving marsupials to diversify into ecological roles filled elsewhere by rodents, insectivores, and small carnivores. Bandicoots emerged as adaptable generalists, shaped by fluctuating climates and nutrient-poor soils. Survival favored efficiency, flexibility, and an ability to extract value from environments that offered little margin for error. Physically, the bandicoot reflects this evolutionary pressure. Its body is compact but not heavy, built for movement rather than strength. The elongated snout is one of its most defining features, housing a sensitive nose capable of detecting insects, roots, and fungi beneath the soil. Vision plays a secondary role, especially during nighttime activity, while smell and hearing guide nearly every decision. Large ears pivot constantly, scanning for threats in an environment where danger can appear without warning. The limbs of the bandicoot are specialized for digging, though not with the brute force of larger burrowing mammals. Instead, the forelimbs are nimble and precise, allowing rapid excavation of shallow holes in search of food. These small diggings, scattered across forest floors and grasslands, represent a quiet but powerful ecological service. Each hole aerates the soil, increases water absorption, and creates microhabitats for seeds and microorganisms. Bandicoots are primarily nocturnal, emerging after dusk to forage under cover of darkness. This timing reduces exposure to predators and heat while aligning activity with the movement of insects and other prey. Movement is cautious but continuous, with frequent pauses to investigate scent trails and subtle sounds. When threatened, bandicoots rely on short bursts of speed and sudden changes in direction rather than confrontation. Survival depends on awareness and timing more than physical defense. Dietary flexibility is one of the bandicoot's greatest strengths. As omnivores, they consume insects, larvae, worms, spiders, seeds, fruits, and fungi. This varied diet allows them to persist across different habitats, from forests and scrublands to urban fringes. Seasonal changes influence feeding behavior, with animal matter becoming more important during dry periods and plant-based food supplementing nutrition when available. This adaptability has historically allowed bandicoots to withstand natural environmental fluctuations. Reproduction in bandicoots follows the marsupial pattern but with unique intensity. Gestation is extremely short, among the shortest of any mammal. The tiny, underdeveloped young complete most of the development in the mother's pouch. This reproductive strategy allows rapid population growth under favorable conditions, an essential trait in environments prone to sudden change. However, it also depends on stable habitat and low mortality, conditions increasingly rare in the modern world. Socially, bandicoots are largely solitary. Territories overlap minimally, and interactions outside of mating are brief. Communication relies heavily on scent marking, with individuals establishing boundaries through chemical signals rather than direct confrontation. This low-density social structure reduces competition for resources but increases vulnerability when habitats are fragmented, as isolated individuals struggle to find mates. Predators have always been part of the bandicoot's evolutionary landscape. Native predators such as birds of prey and reptiles shaped alertness and nocturnal habits. However, the arrival of introduced predators dramatically altered survival dynamics. Foxes, cats, and dogs hunt with efficiency unmatched by native species, placing constant pressure on bandicoot populations. These predators do not share the same evolutionary history, and bandicoots lack effective defenses against them. Human impact extends far beyond predation. Land clearing for agriculture and urban development has destroyed vast areas of suitable habitat. Roads fragment territories and cause direct mortality. Even well-maintained gardens can become ecological traps, offering food without safety. Noise, light pollution, and domestic animals create an environment where survival becomes a daily gamble. Despite these challenges, bandicoots persist in surprising places. Some species have adapted to suburban environments, feeding in parks and gardens under cover of night. This resilience reflects the same adaptability that defined their evolutionary success. Yet adaptation has limits. Not all species have survived, and several bandicoot species are now endangered or extinct. The ecological role of bandicoots is disproportionate to their size. Through constant digging and foraging, they influence soil structure and nutrient cycling. Their feeding behavior reduces insect populations and promotes plant regeneration. In ecosystems where bandicoots decline, soil health deteriorates, water runoff increases, and biodiversity suffers. The absence of these small mammals creates ripple effects that extend far beyond their immediate niche. Human perception of bandicoots has shifted slowly. Once overlooked or misunderstood, they are increasingly recognized as keystone species essential to ecosystem function. Conservation programs now focus on habitat restoration, predator control, and public awareness. Reintroductions into protected areas demonstrate that when conditions improve, bandicoots can recover rapidly. The conservation status of bandicoots varies widely by species, reflecting differences in habitat, adaptability, and human pressure. Some remain relatively stable, while others exist only in isolated reserves or captive breeding programs. The future of the bandicoot depends on proactive management rather than reactive rescue. Protecting them means preserving the quiet processes that keep ecosystems functioning. Why the bandicoot matters becomes clear when viewed beyond appearance. It represents a form of ecological labor that often goes unnoticed. Digging, feeding, and moving through the landscape, bandicoots maintain systems humans depend on but rarely acknowledge. Their survival is tied directly to soil health, biodiversity, and the resilience of natural environments. In a world increasingly shaped by speed, visibility, and immediate impact, the bandicoot stands as a reminder that some of the most important work happens quietly, at night, and close to the ground. Its story is not one of dominance or spectacle, but of persistence shaped by millions of years of adaptation. Whether that story continues depends not on the bandicoot's ability to change, but on humanity's willingness to notice and protect what has always been there, working silently beneath our feet.